I hope you looked up and saw that flying message of congratulations. To me, the idea has a lot of meaning. It's about looking for the things that inspire and expand our sense of possibility. I know that's easier said than done. 20 is one have been through the worldwide disaster of our life. Has not killed more than 3 million people. It also widened the fractures in our weakest points, our political divides, our racial injustice, and our economic inequalities. The pandemic affected us all, but like they say, we all might have been weathering the same storm, but we've been in different boats. The poor, the underserved populations, they've suffered even worse. Look up for a moment. It's what I do when I find the weight of all of this starts to get to me. I look up to find inspiration. Here's what I see when I look up. I see a vaccine rolling out faster than expected, bringing the end of the pandemic into sight. I see colleges and schools like ours planning a return to classrooms. Our city reviving and bursting with economic opportunity. I see a war in Afghanistan that's taken so many lives finally coming to an end. I see 12 men and women in a Minneapolis courtroom who looked up and saw injustice, and they gave the nation hope and they gave us justice. All of these things give me such hope for our future. But mostly, when I find myself short on inspiration, I look up to you. How can I look at you graduates of Pikes Peak Community College and not find myself filled with joy, wonder, and hope? I look at you and I see the soldier finding her way back into civilian life, diploma in hand, and resume on her Google Drive. I see the ambitious high school student who's graduating today from college at the same time he graduates from high school. I see the mom who did Zoom classes while feeding her 2-year-old, proudly accepting her diploma. I see the students who almost didn't make it and ended up making that courageous decision to ask for help, who spent time with a tutor and found themselves able to push right through to graduation. I see the student who never dreamed of going to college, never thought that was a possibility, but thanks to scholarships, she made it happen. Her future became bigger. Her image of who she could be and what she could become expanded. And here she is with the rest of you. You are all the walking embodiment of inspiration. Okay, I want you to stand up. I don't care that we're on a screen. I don't care that you're in your pajamas in your living room, and I don't care that your brother's going to make fun of you. Stand up. You are the students and graduates of the pandemic. You are our new first responders, accountants, zookeepers, welders, teachers, entrepreneurs, restaurant managers, reporters, social media gurus, and surgical technicians. You stand today as a testament to persistence and grit. I am honored and humbled by your achievements, and I invite you to keep me up on where you go from here. Please email me at lance.bolton@ppcc.edu. I want to cheer on your future triumphs. From all of us at Pikes Peak Community College, congratulations. You keep giving us reasons to look up.
Hello, graduates, family members, friends, and colleagues. I'm Joe Garcia, Chancellor of the Colorado Community College System, and I'm thrilled to extend my most sincere congratulations to this year's graduating class. This year has presented each of you with challenges that have been common to all students over the years, like not enough aptitude in math. But you also faced a unique challenge in the form of the pandemic that was unprecedented and unforeseeable. Through it all, you showed your resiliency, determination, and strength. You worked hard, you adapted, and you did not give up. That same grit and perseverance will be there as you face future challenges. And I hope you remember how strong you were this year and that you can find that strength again when you need it. Now, it's been over 40 years since I graduated from college, but I still remember that day vividly. But what I remember, more than a sense of accomplishment and pride, was a sense of relief. Box checked, degree in hand. But I didn't have a job lined up and I hadn't applied to graduate school. I didn't know what was next for me. Still, I was a different person because I had that degree. I was a different person because of challenges and overcome them. I was a different person because I could imagine a future that was different from my past. All I had to do was keep my eyes open to opportunities and to have the confidence in myself to pursue those opportunities even when they seemed impossibly beyond my reach. Certainly I didn't know everything, but the most important thing I'd learned in college was that what I didn't know, I could learn. Remember that. What you don't know, you can learn. So your next task isn't to know, but to believe. Believe in yourself and have the confidence to try new things, to take risks, and to know that you can persevere, just as you did this year. As a recent president said to a group of graduates, quote, "It's your turn to keep this daringly radical but unfailingly simple notion of America alive. That no matter where you're born or how much your parents have, no matter what you look like or what you believe in, you can still rise to become whatever you want, still go on to achieve great things," end quote. So pursue great things. Never put limits on your dreams, and don't listen to others who try to impose limits upon you. Don't stop learning because you have a degree, and never stop loving because you may have lost someone close to you. The world is big, and there's always room for more knowledge, more love, bigger dreams, and people like you who can learn more, love more, and aim higher. On behalf of the Colorado Community College System, congratulations again on reaching this momentous milestone. From this day forward, you are a college graduate. You are one of our graduates, and we could not be more proud of you.
The Student Government Association at Pikes Peak Community College is the official representative voice for our student body. We seek to create an environment of growth and success through the guidance and development of character, change in favor of the interests, needs, and welfare of the student. Hi, my name is Nikki Larzo, and for the last 3 years, I've had the privilege of serving as an SGA officer here at PPCC, and I am currently your student body president. I want to first start by congratulating PPCC's class of 2021. This accomplishment is a step towards our overall success. During my time here, I've learned more about myself, my work ethic, and gained a new self-confidence that I'd never had before. My experience here has been life-changing, to say the least. With a pandemic at large and a graduation deadline still needing to be met, we all learned how to adapt in order to succeed. When the pandemic hit, I was in 3 classes, including math, which isn't my strongest point. At this time, we had no Zoom calls, and everything seemed to be a confusing blur. Much like others, I had to learn how to navigate the ropes in order to succeed on my own. And I had to move quickly because graduation was coming. Somehow, I passed all my classes that semester, and you did too, which is why you're here with us today. Of course, some of the success that I had has a lot to do with my support from faculty and staff here, like Tom Fink, who was my photography teacher and would spend extra time with me on Zoom going over curriculum I didn't understand. His dedication as a professor is what helped me proceed with vigor in my college journey. And as we wrap up this chapter today, we leave with skills of individual navigation and motivation. I hope that, like me, this pandemic has taught you a beautiful mess of a lesson for the future. Through times of trouble and dismay, we can turn to self-motivation and adaptability. And as each of us go into our next journey, let's remind ourselves of what we've endured and learned so that we can apply it to ourselves in the future. And as luck would have it, I wrote my final paper for anthropology on Charles Darwin, so I'd like to wrap up with one of his quotes. "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change."
Good day, class of 2021. On behalf of the State Board of Community Colleges and Occupational Education, I would like to congratulate you on your steadfast and perseverance in pursuing your education and getting to this point during these precedented times during COVID-19. You have truly demonstrated your determination and motivation to pursue your educational opportunities. And here you are, graduating today. We thank you and we applaud you.
Hello, fellow aardvarks. Thanks for being here. And before I start, I just want to say congratulations and mazel tov. When strangers ask me what I do for a living, I usually tell them I'm a teacher. Their second and third questions are typically, what do you teach? And what grade do you teach? About half the time people wince or frown when I tell them I teach English, and they seem rather nonplussed when I tell them I teach both graduate and undergraduate students. Many of them will say, oh, you're a professor. And my rejoinder will be, yeah, I'm a teacher. Why do I insist on being called a teacher when a professor can be defined as a teacher of high rank or a teacher at a university or college? Well, Firstly, I see it as a reminder to myself of what I feel my primary professional function is. And secondly, it is to tell the truth of a rather vehement rebuke of an expressly unpleasant event I experienced in my 7th year as a university professor. See, that year I had learned something I had neither known nor suspected about my profession, about contemporary academia. You see, I was called onto the carpet for missing a meeting that the acting chair of my department had deemed important. Never mind the fact that the meeting time had been moved up 2 hours and no one had bothered to inform me. But I gathered about 5 minutes into my conversation with the acting chair that the meeting hadn't been that important after all, but was sufficient excuse to get me into the man's office so he could upbraid me for something quite different. He said to me, "I've noticed we don't see much of you around campus." I was a little surprised by this observation of his. After all, it was well known in the department that I was not only teaching there, but was a faculty member in a low residency Master of Fine Arts program in the Northeast. Moreover, folks knew I spent only 3.5 days a week in the state. The other 3.5 days, I lived in Pittsburgh, helping my former wife tend to our 2 very young children. To be honest, I wasn't entirely clear on what the chair was getting at. And I said, "Look, I know I don't go to a lot of meetings, but I'm not talking about departmental meetings, Reg," he said. "Well," I replied, "if you're talking about my classes, man, I have to say I meet all but a couple a year. I'm a good teacher. I keep my office hours and work hard on citing samples." I talked for about 2 minutes on what I believe to be my virtues as an educator. As I spoke, his face became increasingly red until it reached the color of a steamed lobster. When he could clearly take no more, he held up his hand, and immediately I fell silent. But he didn't speak right away. He looked down at his desk, shook his head, sighed loudly, looked up at me and said, "Look, Reg, I don't know how this fact escaped you, given the fact you're a full professor and everything, but nobody gives a flying flag, I'll just euphemize, about those students, especially the undergraduates." He said, "Universities haven't been about students for a good while. Universities are about politics, power, and publishing and positioning." He went on for quite some time, but I stopped listening. My ears beat with blood, my face burned, I felt deflated, baffled, astonished, hurt, humiliated. I hadn't known that no one cared about students. I'd never heard such a thing. It seemed like saying that football wasn't about full contact or that movies weren't about images. My mind was plunged into deep waters. The acting chair's alliterative riff at the beginning of his talk took me rather unexpectedly back to my freshman year of high school. When I was in 9th grade, I'd been tracked in courses for low-achieving students. Back then, where I went to school, which is where most of you live, they had 4 different academic tracks. On the top, of course, were the honors courses. Just below were the C track courses, the so-called rich courses. Next down was the B track, which was for students who were oriented towards the technical, vocational areas of study. And finally, there was the A track courses for students requiring no more than a pulse. I was a poor student in terms of grades, but quiet and an avid reader. I wrote poetry, music, played guitar. I aspired to be a singer-songwriter after the fashion of Richie Havens or Bob Dylan. I never imagined going to college, and no one, not my parents or teachers or friends, ever encouraged me to do so. My mother used to tell me that she was happy if I managed to maintain a C average. What was the point of dreaming about college? I was, after all, an A-track student. As much as I liked language and reading, I can't say I cared much for Mrs. Hines' 9th grade English course. I didn't like it because I didn't believe Mrs. Hines liked us. Couldn't blame her, though. As a group, we were wisecracking and obstreperous, fidgety. I felt sorry for her, really. She was a tiny, brittle, tightly wound woman, not much beyond 10 years our senior. She seemed afraid of us. She was forced to spend much of the 50-minute hour keeping us quiet and in our seats. I don't remember anything we read, and there were no class discussions beyond, "Where's your book, Mr. Beatty? Give her pen back and sit down, Mr. Lavelle." On one day, though, my best friend, Pat Gregoire, who sat in front of me, whipped around in his chair just as class was getting underway. Pat slapped his open textbook on my desktop, aimed his finger at an Emily Dickinson poem and said, "Hey, Reggie, check out the onomatopoeia in this poem." We'd learned that term in Mrs. Dalton's class the previous year. I must admit I was a little fuzzy on its meaning. I always get it mixed up with the word alliteration. Yeah, but all I said to Pat was, "Cool." Mrs. Hines, red-faced, taut, slit-eyed, said, "Mr. McKnight, why don't you stand up and tell the class about the important matter you're discussing with Mr. Gregoire?" It made my heart thump like crazy. I was rarely called. My whole thing was, in a nutshell, invisibility. Mrs. Hines reddened still more deeply, penned me once more, and said, "So what were you talking about?" I stood and said, "Well, me and Pat were talking about onomatopoeia and this poem over here." I couldn't think she could get any redder in the face, but she did. She stared at me for a 30-second interval that seemed like 3 full minutes. She stood there, my heart thumping into my throat trying to swallow it back down into my chest. "Sit down," was all she said. So, next day, I was called from Mrs. Hines's class to the counseling office to meet with Mrs. Ray. A tracker that I was unaccustomed to being called from class for any reason. I was terrified that whatever Mrs. Ray had to tell me would eventually get my parents involved. Let's just say that Mrs. and Master Sergeant McKnight were decidedly old school about school. And so was Mrs. Ray. She was the opposite of Mrs. Hines in nearly every respect. Tough, unflappable, willowy, billowy, a platinum dynamo who wouldn't have been intimidated by the IRS or Homeland Security or Robert Minchin, you name it. I entered her office. She pointed to her chair, to the chair, and with zero ado said, "Tell me about Mrs. Hines's class yesterday. What happened?" You may not learn much in A-track classes, but you do learn to deny everything. "Nothing," I said. "Mrs. Hines said you were discussing onomatopoeia with another student in class the other day." I made no reply at first. If I was going to go down for talking style and prosody in an English class, I wasn't going to make it easy for her. But after a lengthy pause, I said, "We only talked for a minute." "Well, you sure took her by surprise," Mrs. Ray. She couldn't even remember what that word meant and had to go look it up after class. Welcome to the club, I thought. And I did look it up. The very evening of the day Mrs. Hines had called me out. Turns out that Gregoire and I had been talking about alliteration. "What we decided," said Mrs. Ray, "is a kid who could discuss onomatopoeia doesn't belong in an A-track English class. So we're going to try you in a C-track course to see how you do." To tell you the truth, I was rather alarmed. I wanted to tell Mrs. Ray that it had been Pat Gregoire and not I who had brought up the subject of onomatopoeia. I wanted to tell her that I looked up the word after school and realized that Pat had meant alliteration. He had confused the words in the same way I had. Alliteration, politics, power, publications, positioning, whatever that means. When the chair ended his talk about what a university is and is not in our time, I felt very much the same way I had in Mrs. Ray's office like an A-track kid who feels as if he's better off keeping his trap shut. A kid who earns his C if he does nothing more than stay in his seat. I silently took in all that he said, and I asked him what he expected of me, what he would have me do. He said, "There'll be a reception for an emeritus candidate tomorrow at 3. I'd like you to be there. There'll be some other people there I'd like you to meet." "That's all?" I said. "That's all. You just want me to show my face, right?" "Yeah, basically." Incidentally, the only time he showed any satisfaction with my work was when my words and image would appear in the campus paper. Whenever such a thing would take place, he'd scribble his congratulations on a copy of the periodical, taking care to use a good number of exclamation points. In fact, it became abundantly clear that I was in danger of becoming a poster boy for his own professional causes, whatever they might have been, and I still don't know. I wanted to tell the chair that for me, universities are about finding A-trackers who belong in the C-track, so to speak. I wanted to tell him about the teacher who mistakenly moved me from her own class to another's, but had not been embarrassed or disappointed to have done so. I don't know what grade I earned in that C-track class, but I remember I loved reading 12 Angry Men and The Red Badge of Courage, Metamorphosis, The Hunger Artist, Flowers for Algernon, which was, for some reason, my favorite story that term. I loved being treated like a smart guy, and soon I learned that teachers did not want our silence and stillness, but our minds and our passion for growth and change. They actually wanted to hear what we had to say. That strange, serendipitous change in my first year in high school radically altered the trajectory of my life. As Alice Miller puts it in her extraordinary book, The Drama of the Gifted Child, and I quote, "For the majority of sensitive people, the true self remains deeply and thoroughly hidden. How can you love something you do not know, something that has never been loved? So it is that many a gifted person lives without any notion of his or her true self. Such people are enamored of an idealized, conforming, false self. It is," and I end the quote there, "it is simple for me. I am forever on the hunt for the Pat Gregoires out there. I am perpetually ready to repay Mrs. Hines for her attentiveness, her intention, and her hopefulness. It is my wish and my desire to peer beneath the false selves of each of my students and help them find their giftedness. It happened here at Pikes Peak with teachers, the real teachers who lighted my path, Mrs. Rohr, Penny Jackman, Dr. Robert L. McAndrews, Dr. Carter over there in psychology. Here you have found pure teachers, driven by the love of the game itself. I congratulate each and every one of you for all your hard work, your long hours in the library and online, for your perspicacity, your brilliance. You are each one on the precipice of power, but keep in mind how it can interrupt you, that power. And because professors and scholars are self-governing, you will engage in the political, but politics will shift and bend like wind-blown grass. You will most surely publish if that's what your goal is, and you work hard enough, but remember, the books that are written soon go out of print much more easily than they are written, and people often forget them. And when you find out what this positioning thing is, write me or email me and bring me up to speed on that. I still don't know what it is. But while you go about the alliterative cycle of being professors or chefs or clerks or social workers or peace officers or mechanics or librarians, try every now and then to throw yourselves into teaching those who follow you. The young and the not so young person's very life may depend on it. You never know what might happen. And one more thing. I've been talking to you as though we're all living in some era or timeline where everything is pretty normative, and where our hopes and dreams will manifest with a little luck and a little elbow grease, but that just ain't so. These are different and darker times where each of us stands on the precipice of the unknown. These days, I often find myself thinking about how Londoners and other Brits coped with the Blitz, that horrific bombing campaign that lasted for 8 long months in the early 1940s. It killed over 43,000 civilians and destroyed thousands of buildings. How did the English cope? I haven't a clue, really, but they did. Those bombs didn't break their will, which was what they were supposed to do, but instead hardened their resolve. When each night's assault ended, they left their air raid shelters, dug through rubble to retrieve the wounded and the dead. They swept up the shattered glass, hosed away the blood, put out the fires, gathered to pray, to bury the dead. They cooked their meals, they read their books, listened to the radio, checked on neighbors, family, friends. They fed their pets, went to work, made love, or wrote poems or sermons or stories or essays for class. They gathered at public houses to have a stiff one and sing songs and listen to speeches or gossip or tell sad stories. In short, they went on, standing as close to normal as the current reality would let them. They went on because they chose to. It's that simple. For they knew that survival and flourishment and even prosperity are not simply a random matter, but a matter of choice, of will, resolve, and the human spirit. Thank you very much, and again, congratulations. Go knock 'em dead. Thanks for listening.
Devin Abeda. Shelby Abeda. Kenya Acosta. Brianne Adair. Lily Adams. Stephen Adams. William Acko. Isa Maria Alcala. Carlina Alcantar Aliman. Alexia Alexander. Amanda Allen. Michael Allen. David Davila Amaya. Brandon Anderson. Julia Anderson.
Edelyn Tapia Andrade.
Kaya Andrews. Samuel Aragon. Solimar Arancibia. Tejan Archuleta. Jared Arfsten. Kyle Arrington. Angelina Asher. Tracy Asher. Benjamin Atwater. Andrew Austin. Angel Avila. Ashley Flores Avina. Mayada Awade. Miami Awade. Rayam Awade. Diana Ayala. Jacob Baca. Julianne Bachorsky. Michelle Bailey. Sarah Banfield. Charity Banks. Abriana Barnes. Bryce Barron. Michaela Bastidos. Meredith Bates. Guadalupe Batris. Brittany Bauman. Paul Baumgarten. Shayla Beal. Brandon Beard. Genesis B. Sorrell.
Megan Fickling Beechin.
Alexandria Benefield. Avagaya Bergman. Tyler Burtis. Philip Binder. Sarah Bird.
Hannah Bishop. Shaylin Bissy. Marina Black. Amelie Blackham. Bradley, Blair. Rachel Blanchard. Kia Blunt. Mary Bacaranda. Susan Bolsinger. Robert Book. Amber Borata. Abigail Boren.
Brandon Pinto Borjas.
Elliot Boswell. Benny Bowers. Virginia Bowman. Patrick Bradford. Michaela Branch. Tracy Brandon. Robert Brewer. Caitlin Brickbeeler. Naheem Briggs. Virginia Broadwell. Jason Brooks. Claudia Brooks. Benjamin Broadsman. Ashley Brown. Elaine Brown. Aaron Brown. Kindred Brown. Skyla Brown. Yalitza Brown.
Diamond Vito Bryant.
Karen Bryant. Brittany Beesing. Taylor Burns. Tia Burt. Natalie Burton. Shelby Burton. Clayton Bucinich. Ariana Bustos. Chloe Butler. Jamie Butler. Karen Butts. Terry Buxton. Christy Lork Bynum. Tiffany Bird. Gray Calabro. Cameron Calkins. Amadeus Calzadia. Desiree Camargo.
Savannah Cameron. Derek Campbell. Narisa Campusano. Tim Cannon. Madison Cantrell. Rebecca Cantrell. April Caronay. Cameron Carden. Jessica Cardenas. Brianna Carrillo. Eric Carroll. Jennifer Carroll. Joseph Carruthers. Marissa Castor. Rachel Castanado. Ryan Cates. Soraya Catron. Gary Cedino. Griffin Cedron. Catherine Chambers. Susan Chandler. Michael Chandonnet. Evan Chase. Hannah Chevia. Jocelyn Chime. Andrew Clark. Cheryl Clark. Tori Clark Thurman. Gregory Cleveland. Coates. Megan Coates. Kayla Coleman. Jaden Collins. Valiore Coral. Caleb Countess. Ana Covarrubias. Charisma Crable. Angela Creason. Deanna Lise Cruz Rodriguez. Jillian Curry. Trina Kutcher. Jenna Dahlberg. Peyton Dalzell. Edmundo Daniel. Nolan Daniels. Rick Daniels.
Ariana Davis. Catherine Davis. Lydian Davis. Sheena Davis.
Stephanie Davis.
Dallas Dean. Justin Dearman. Patrick Desclouet. Emma De Herrera. Piper De Hoyos. Jessica Decker. Luis Delgado. Angelina Diaz. Cindy Diaz. Larry Diaz. John D'Ignazio. Lorena Dimas. Natalia Dizon. David Doan. Olivia Doherty. Isaiah Dominic. Karen Donnells. Lexi Dorton. Andrew Downing. Anna Durst. Vanessa Dunaway. Christopher Dunlap. Andre Dunn. Crystal Dunn. Robert Dunn. Brooklyn Dupree. Christina Duran. Aaron Dutcher. Donovan Eddington. Kenneth Edwards. Shannon Edwards. Kalani Elazar. Katie Ershinger. Natalia Erickson. Michaela Espinoza. Delaney Evans. Kristen Evans. Mackenzie Evans. Nicholas Evanson. Howard Faradun. Julia Fedorchak. Nina Fellows. Isaac Ferguson. Amanda Fernandez. Holly Fitzwater.
Sierra Flint. Ana Flores.
Gloria Leon Flores.
Jose Flores. Ruth Flores. Larry Fogel. Susanna Fanesca. Love Frejo. Janet Freer. Frisan Francis. Vanessa Franco. Veronica Frankie. Connor Francella. Calvin Foos. Rhonda Fuchsa. James Gallagher. Catherine Gallegos Pardo. Melissa Gambino. Catherine Garcia. Connor Garcia. Mario Giovanni Rivera Garcia. Nadine Garcia. Patricia Garcia. Pamela Garcia Kakolka. Daniel Garrity. Lauren Garrison. James Garton. Horatio Garza. Banner Gasca. Catalina Gasca. Isabel Gaston. Deborah Gason. Daisy Jarena. Nathan Getty. Tyler Gilbo. Cameron Gillis. Samoya Judice. Randall Godinez. Catherine Gonzalez. Jesus Gonzalez. Abigail Gooden. Keenan Goodson. Myra Gorostieta. Jacob Graham. Josu Granados. Aubrey Graves. Raina Graves. Josiah Levi Grabank. Benjamin Green.
James Green. Niall Greer. Julianne Rose Gregory. Andrew Gresham. Latarsha Griffin. Austin Grimes. Destiny Grover Weldson. Shao Gulden. Madison Guthrie.
Marilyn Mejia Gutierrez.
Ruben Gutierrez. Veronica Gutierrez. Andre Guy. Valerie Hadaway. Lauren Hall. Raven Hall. Tristan Hamann. Raysan Hamasala. Kennedy Hamilton. Brandy Hammer. Danielle Hampton. Angela Hengerpai. Abigail Hansen. Galen Harassine. Imani Hargrove. Catherine Harley. Esther Harmon. Jessalyn Harrington. Alexis Harris. Brandon Harris. Deja Harris. Brett Hart. Andrew Hartmetz. Lindsay Harvey. Layla Harbison. Gailis Hassan. Victoria Haas. Ashley Hayes. Jennifer Heckman. Michelle Hemker. Kyle Herbert Fortenberry. Christina Hernandez.
Daniel Pina Hernandez.
Noel Hernandez. Chalista Tierra Ehring. Krista Heschleman. Peyton Hickman. Haley Higby. Anthony Hill. Taylor Kaylin Hilton.
Nathan Hinnebaugh. Kaylin Hens. Miosha Hobbs. Jacob Holmes. Jamie Holmes Cons. Paris Hood. Angie Hopkins.
Evan Van Horn.
Ian Horton. Jesselyn Hauk. Kiera Howard. Madeline Hoxie. Amber Hudson. Dylan Hudson. Morgan Hudson. Athena Hunsucker. Makeda Hunter. Michaela Hunter. Ashlyn Huntley. Shaylin Hurd. Natalia Hutchins. Pamela Hutton. Ariana Monique Iverson. Kristen Jackson. Marlisha Jacobs. Antonio Yeager. Monica Yannicki. Megan Jacuz. Caitlin James. Joshua Janitel. Kayla Jaramillo. Veronica Jaramillo. Casey Jardin. Emily Gerard. Sabrina Jenks. Heidi Jazeritz. Diana Jaime Jimenez. Jared Johnson. Jordan Johnson. Jessica Jones. Angela Jones. Kylie Jones. Donna Jordan. Alice Jordan. Cordell Cadlick. Kristen Kalbfleisch. Karina Carlson. Hazim Queso. Kara Kelly. Timothy Kennedy.
Gabby Kern. Jessica Kilpatrick. Shaylin King. Corey Kenman. Emily Kirk. Harrison Kirschbaum. Derek Klutzer. David Klunk. Peter Corbin. Colin Corin. Desiree Corwick. Christina Koss. Alexander Cracker. Braden Kroll. Colton Cruz Hilt. Laura Kuhn. Valine Kuhn. Farah Lackey. Jacqueline Landers. Lauren Lane. Brian Lancy. Sebastian Lautenbach. Kevin Law. Annalise Lado. Li Ji. Valerie Lee. Unisa Lenzini. Irma Valtierra Leon. Hazel LePage. Rebecca Lewis. Christina Ladet. Vanessa Limones. Star Lively. Ashley Livingston. Ronnie Locke. Kendra Lochner. Melissa Lofton. Elizabeth Long. Michael Long. Eric Lopez. Ingrid Lopez. James Lopez. Patricia Lucas. Caitlin Lund. Michael Lucia. Brennan Lutz. Tasha Moss. James Makowicz. Faith McLean.
Megan Madden. Mason Maddox. Kaylee Maddox. Catherine Madera. Maya Madison. Donna Maestas. Janae Maisano. Vanessa Maldonado. Tani Manalo. Chloe Manansala. Zoe Mancini. Renee Maples. Sarah Maxud. Michelle Marchuka. Morgan Markowski. Kirsten Marlowe. Jeremiah Marshall. Stephanie Martins. Faith Martin. Angelica Martinez. Victoria Martinez. Devana Mason. Kimmy Mason. Radraze Mason. Tiffany Matthews. Amber Malden. Kaylee Maxwell. April Maynard. Annalisa McBride. Caitlin McCarran. Mandy McCreary. Monica McEnroe. Jana McGarvey. Brianne McGregor. Ariana McGuire. Alyssa McNeely. Raquel Medina. Sarah Meyer. Eric Melton. Megan Mendanella. Sonia Mendoza. Juan Carlos Mendoza Rocha. Verona Mendrofa.
Desiree Boyles Mercer.
Lorena Mercer. Joshua Messier. Eliza Myers.
Joseph Mesafante.
Cicely Mezzofante.
Justin Middlebrook. Angela Miller. Candace Mintz. Jasim Mitchell. Ariel Molina. Desiree Monsetero. Maciela Montoya. Seabrook Montoya. Alicia Morales. Jessica Morales. Kirby Ann Morales Kearse. Jose Navarrete Moreno.
Richard Plasencia Moreno.
Anastasia Mori.
Ricardo Galerza Mota.
Layla Moy. Onika Moy. Sherry Mueller. Cindy Malero. Norma Murillo. Leah Murphy. Caroline Mutai. Nikki Neal. Sarah Neely. Brina Neubauer. Brittany Newell. Frederick Newell. Tennille Newman. Brianna Newton. Dao Win. Ashley Nice. Gabriel Nix. Kayla Nacone. Kevin Nolan. Kendall Nussbaum. Solange Nuter. Kelsey O'Casey. Robert Obelisk. Matthew Odenwald. Brian Ogle. Cambria Oldenburg. Patrick Ortiz. Edwin Osegueda. Andrea Ozuna. Erica Pagan. Malia Mokihana Kalika Pala Rowan. Nina Palfrey. Adam Palma.
Constance Parker.
David Parker.
Shonda Parker. Gabriel Parrott. Monet Patterson. Sierra Pauls. Angela Payne. Jada Payne. Janadella Pedro. Yvonne Pina. Alex Pennington. Colleen Peppersack. Alma Perez. Paula Perez. Trayvon Perry. Vijay Persad. Abigail Peter. Sterling Flieger. Nathaniel Pierce. Victoria Pincelli. Taylor Petrowski. Kiana Pollard. Heather Poole. Marissa Porter. Kayla Powell. Riley Prater. Dalton Prejon. Sheila Presley. Jennifer Pritchard. Silence Pruitt. Juanita Rose Kengwa. Alize Quinones. Karina Quinones. Riley Quinones. Francis Ramos. Jemima Ramos. Alexander Ratcliffe. Charles Riley Buckner. Jasmine Rellyford. Amanda Renfro. Ariana Marie Reyes. Chris Reyes. Victoria Reyes. Linnea Rivera. Martin Roberts.
Josh Robertson. Alma Robinson. Tennille Rocha. Michaela Roche. Daniel Rode. Justin Rodriguez. Sarah Rodriguez. Morgan Rogers. Quinna Rawlings. Jonathan Roper. Selena Ropo. Erica Rosario. Carlos Rosas. William Rowland. Jamie Rosina. Evett Rucker. Giselle Zumora Relas. Isabel Ruelas Morfin. Ruben Ruiz Velasquez. Ryan Ruland. Caroline Russell. Olivia Ruth. Stephanie Rydalsh. Madeline Sakovich. Quena Sadler. Teresa Sadulski. Alicia Salazar. Darren Saldana. Sheik Salibelas. Ahmed Salih. Noor Salman. Angelina Sampson. Frank Sanchez. Jorge Javier Sanchez. Maluia Sanchez. Michaela Sanchez. Nathaniel Sanchez Mondragon. Alexis Sanders. Jessica Sanders. Elijah Sands. Ashley Sandy. Christopher Samph. Natalie Vasquez Santiago. Nicholas Sapp. Lindsay Sequeda. Lynette Schinkel. Crystal Schladweiler. Tara Schmelzer. Dominique Schnierl. Julie Schooley,
Virginia Sidmore, Devin Scumbato, Erica Segovia, Marissa Segura, Rayleigh Sen, Alexis Cepeda, Miskana Sareki, Jonathan Sirio, Melissa Serrano, Caroline Setters, Garrett Schenkel, Damon Shankling, Cassandra Shaw, Chase Schilling, William Shipman, Vicky Shoup, Cheyenne Simpson, Christine Sines, Sarah Sisson, Emily Audrey C., Jillian Skelly, Deja Small, Micah Smith, Tracy Smith, Brandy Sneath, Brandy Sobotka, Daniela Soto, Victor Spalloni, Sarah Spangler, Amber Spray, Andrea Stanek, Terrell Stanley, Brianna Stauffer, Stephanie Steiner, Carla Steiniger Morris, Grant Stevens, Gavin Stierstorfer, Stoddard. Desiree Stokes. Jeremy Stone. Bryce Strange. Kylie Strickland. Jamie Sullivan. Ryan Sullivan. Peyton Svoboda. Paige Switzer.
Karen Zalay. Rosanna Timonglo. Marie Talavera. Christopher Tarrant. Jessica Tarrant. Arena Taylor. Randy Taylor. Sarah Teixeira. Jalisa Hello. Catherine Teme. Brittany Thomas. Christopher Thomas Sr. Renwalda Thomas. Nakia Thomason. Stephen Thompson Jones. Tanner Thornton. Delacia Tibayan. Veronica Topate Gomez. Ashley Toribio. Iris Torres. Michelle Torres. Ramiro Torres. Nicole Trammell. Clayton Traub. John Triplett. Anise Trujillo. Kevin Trujillo. Hannah Trumbull. Danielle Turner. Andrea Ulrich. Alexandria Umana. Christopher Unger. Jamie Valdez. Elizabeth Valiv. Avalon Vance. Christine Varney. Maria Vasquez. Melissa Vasquez. Tanya Vasquez. Amira Vaughn. Frank Vizano. Frances Velasquez. Vernetta Velasquez Obiome.
Caitlin Vigil. Kiana Vigil.
Tiffany Vigil.
Anna Viazon. Adriana Valescas. Leah Vinod. Dylan Wagon Connect. Alyssa Walker. Lauren Walter. Chantel Ware. Marie Wassinger. John Waterman. Dwan Watson. James Watts. Gabriel Weber. Brianna Wecker. Kai Wadenkopf. Maria Weidner. Alicia Welch. Louise Welsh. Shayla Welton. Chastity Welty. Elijah West. Natalie West. Brianne Wheeler.
Jason Wheeler. Dan White. Sarah Whittam. Kristen Weens. Victoria Wickel. Molly Wilcox. Hannah Wilcoxon. Kristen Williams. Megan Williams. Portia Yvette Williams. Shalonda Williams. Stephanie Williams. Taylor Williams. Connor Wilson. Samantha Wilson. Taylor Wilson. Tanya Wilson Bice. Jenna Wing. Annalie Wise. Nathan Wofford. Andrew Wolf. Bridget Wolf. Tashayla Wright. Vontre Wright. Yanela Wright. Corey Yarborough. Mawish Zahir. Ahmed Zin. Brendan Ziwak. Mary Zumwalt.